meeting of the Bangor Board of Education. We're going to do a roll call. All are here. Test of publication.
I saw it posted.
Moniz got that. Reorganization, or excuse me, approval of agenda.
I'll second that.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we'll start the reorganization part of the meeting. So we will start out with looking for nominations for Bangor School Board President. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Julie Myers.
We have a nomination for Julie Myers. Any other nominations? And you had a second, sorry, with Tina. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? You had a second, sorry. All right, all those in favor of Julie Myers being president of the Bangor School Board?
Aye.
Those opposed? Julie Myers, congratulations on being our school board president again. It's your meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Nominations for vice president. I nominate Shelley Piskey.
A second.
Are there any other nominations? Ask for nomination, or for, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer.
I nominate Joni Wilcox. I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? I'll make the motion to close nominations and cast unanimous ballot for Joni Wilcox for treasurer. I'll make the motion to close nominations. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Clerk.
I nominate Tina Matheson.
I'll second that.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? I'll make a motion. Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. District mission, vision, and values. I will go ahead and read that tonight. Mission, Bangor Pride, a small school building big futures. Vision, an innovative small school creating excellence through personalized learning and relationships for all. Values, student-centered, safety, opportunities for all, small class sizes, fiscally sustainable, foster community, continuous improvement, professionalism. Our Board of Education collective commitments. As a member of the Bangor School Board, I will be an active listener who is open-minded, respectful, and inquisitive. Together, with one collective voice, we are committed to forward thinking while strategically prioritizing for our students, staff, and community now and into the future. All right, any public comment? Okay, Sophie.
You need approval of minutes, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't you do that? Oh, did I miss it? Oh, I'm sorry. Just a minute, Sophie. I need approval of the minutes from the April 9th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Joni, seconded by Shelley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. All right. Now you're on, Sophie.
Gotcha. All right, so tonight I brought with Jordan Sackmaster. She's one of the other officers for our student council. She's our treasurer. And hopefully next year, she will be presenting all this to you. Since I will not be here, she'll be a senior next year. So she's just here to seeing what's happening, and I told her to vision herself being up here. Anyways, so previously, I'll be honest, I don't have these in actual like date order, but they're all here. So 6th graders went on their DC trip, which is always very fun. I love going on it, so I'm sure they had a great time. 40 students went to Build My Future at the Omni Center on the 30th. I know a lot of students like going to that every year. Scholarship night was last Wednesday night, as well as the NHS induction, and then like 9 students got inducted for NHS, and they gave away over 40 scholarships for the senior class, which was amazing, and there's a lot of different kids winning many different awards. Last night was the high school spring concert, which is the last concert for a lot of the seniors. So I know for a lot of people, it was kind of emotional for some of them, I heard. I wasn't there, but I heard it was amazing. The Adaptive Sports League, which this is their first season competing, co-oping with Salem, who happens to be coached by a Bangor alumni, Jack Reeder. And they started their playoffs last night for wiffle ball, which is the season they're in. And unfortunately, they fell short in extra innings with the final score of 10-8 against their rivals, Lacrosse Logan, who they played quite a few times this year already, this season. SCCLA, they did a fun little, a small fundraiser the other day, just to raise a little money for them. They sold dirt cups in between some classes, and I know compared to some of their other fundraisers, they had a really good outcome for that. The Spring Carnival was a couple weekends ago, and I feel like I've always been there in the past. I volunteered, or even when I was little, I was always there. It was one of my favorite things. So I was there, but I'm sure it was also amazing that. Baseball and softball, they had their senior nights on Monday. For softball, Randa Coilers is our only senior. And then for baseball, there's Brock Boris, Eli Tucker, Tyler Meyer, and Bryce Peterson. A little different, but track doesn't really have a senior night. But I was looking the other day at all the banners, and there's 19 seniors, which is, I think that's crazy. That's a lot. Coming up in the future, the ASL team has a tournament. The Adaptive Sports League team has a tournament on Friday in Wisconsin Dells. It'll be fun for them to travel there. The middle school band and choir goes to Trills and Thrills and will perform at Valley Fair on Friday. Thursday is Western's AHED graduation. Seniors have their senior banquet on May 18th, this coming Sunday. The 20th is the track conference meet at Brookwood, and it's their new track. They just got a new track, so it'll be. We had to meet there earlier, so it'll be different. Be an experience for them. Next Tuesday is the middle school's spring concert. Next Wednesday is the seniors' music trip. They're going, what did we? Chanhassen, which is like a dinner theater thing. So they get to have dinner and watch a show. Sorry,
And the show just happens to be Grease.
Is it? That's cool. I didn't know that. Completely lost my spot. Oh, okay. Graduation for the seniors is on the 25th, and the seniors will be taking their finals next Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday's their last day. Grad practice for them will be next Friday, out in the field, hopefully. Good weather, so we can have it outside and not inside. Monday will be the Memorial Day program at 9 a.m. in the gym. Tuesday the 27th will be regionals for track at Luther. And then Friday the 30th will be sectionals here for track, and there'll be a half-day school because of it. High school finals for everyone else will be on June 2nd and 3rd, and the last day of school for everyone will be Wednesday the 4th, and that'll also be a half-day. And lastly, 8th grade goes to Mount Olympus on the 28th. And that's all I have today.
Well, you've been such a bright spot in our meetings. I really appreciate it.
Yes, Sophie, thank you for taking the time to come every meeting. We appreciate it, and we look forward to having you come next year. It's not hard. Thank you, Sophie. Best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
All right, board committee assignments. So as you know, an important function of board members is to serve on a smaller committee that repeats back to the board. This is the time of year that we look at who serves on the committees, and if anyone wants to make any changes at this time. I think everyone's good, so we will maintain our board committee assignments.
I should make a motion to approve those just to make it official.
Good. So I ask for a motion to approve our current board committee assignments to move to the 2025-26 2026 academic year?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Shelley. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. So the CISA annual meeting,
I thought you said
CISA annual meeting is June 4th on a Wednesday, and we are looking for a representative from the Bangor School District to represent the board. I am on the CISA board, and I would be happy to attend that meeting.
I'll make a motion to send Julie Myers as representative of the Bangor School District at the CISA board annual meeting on June 4th.
Second.
Motion by Shelley, seconded by Kelly. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Committee reports. Policy Review Committee. Joni?
Oh, seems like a lifetime ago, but it was only on April 22nd, I guess. We met and reviewed a number of them. We came out of it with just one new policy, a couple other we chose not to adopt, excuse me. And I think everybody's had a chance to look at. Probably half of them were just very nominal changes, I would say.
Thank you, Joni. Building and Grounds Committee.
Yeah, I did hear today, 21st, 28th, may both work. The other two people on there, other couple people on the committee, do you know either one of those? Either one? Either one?
I'm still remembering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be 21st or 28th. I'll send a calendar invite out and let you guys know. The plan is those were dates that worked with Nexus to be able to kind of go through some of the project closeouts, have some conversations there, and then we'll bring that back to the board hopefully in June to kind of share the closeout reports. There'll be a couple projects that happen after school gets out to the final touches, but that'll be a good chance for the B&G to meet this year.
Thank you. Financial documents.
Yeah, we just there were a couple of questions that came around some of the insurance type costs that were going in and out, just on making sure those were all above board. Other than that, if there's no other questions about the financials, we'd look for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the financials as presented.
Second.
Motion by Lisa, seconded by Joni. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. So district reports, we do not have any. Our district action items. First on our agenda is the 2025-2026 district calendar adjustment.
Really looking at athletic schedules, looking at how things broke out at the beginning of next year. Homecoming was looking like it was going to fall on a Friday that we didn't have school. In my mind, homecoming's a community event. You have a parade beforehand, all of those types of things. So the suggestion was given, do we just move our PD day forward a week? Made perfect sense. Parents are just planning for 1 week sooner. We wanted to get them notified of that. Keep everything else the same, and we can have school on the Friday of the homecoming football game, which would be September 26th. So the only change to that calendar for 25-26 is moving that PD day from the 26th to the 19th. If there's no questions, we'd look for a motion for approval.
I'll move to approve the adjustment of the 2025-2026 school year calendar, changing the PD in September from the 26th of the month to the 19th.
I'll second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Jessica. Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Policy updates.
This policy update sheet has the list of all of the policies that we reviewed from volume 34, number 1. Also has the UGG Edgar, which is all the financial reportings of federal dollars and all of those types of things. Angie and I reviewed those in more detail than we did as the policy review committee, just making sure we were compliant with all the new regulations there. So with the policy updates, one reading tonight would put all these new policy or all these policy adjustments in place. If there are no questions, we'd look for a motion to approve the policy updates as proposed.
I'll make that motion to approve the policy updates as proposed.
I'll second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Lisa. Any questions or further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. New policy, first reading.
As a reminder, new policies take 2 readings, first approval and then second before it becomes an actual policy. This policy is in response to Act 20 in the state, something that Mr. Johnson and the elementary staff has been working very hard on. We need to have this policy in place by July 1st. You will notice in the first line that we have to have it in place by July 1st, but it does not get implemented for full use until September 1st of 2027. So we start to plan and start to use this as a guide, but we are not implementing all of the policies until 2027. We'll see if everything else stays the same until then, but that's what we're looking for approval on. So first approval this month, second approval next month, and then it would become a policy before that July 1st date. So looking for a motion to approve the first reading of new policy 5411.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of new policy 5411 as reviewed by the PRC.
Second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Kelly. Any other discussion or question? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Strategic planning support agreement.
Yeah, so typically, a school district often looks at a strategic plan about every 5 years and kind of goes through a process of renewing mission, vision, values, setting goals for the district and those types of things. I believe we're on about year 8, finishing up year 8, if I remember right, Mr. Mullenberg, you pulled that old one out for me. We intentionally kind of held off on that during the referendum work, and all of those things with so many distractions going on. This is something Julie and I have talked about for quite a while on getting rolling again to just make sure that not necessarily changing anything, but just confirming that we are all still pushing in the same direction. And I think one of the things that factored into this is with 2 new administrators next year, having some community sessions, having them being able to be a part of that and meeting community, hearing from community on setting the direction for the district will be incredibly important. Oftentimes, most districts do this with some support of outside people. Makes a difference who says it, and having somebody else being able to provide some perspective, help facilitate some conversations, help create some documents and those types of things. So we looked at a couple of options. I talked to a number of districts and who they've used. Ultimately, I had some great conversations with CISA4. Paul Fisher over there, really, as he and I talked, he put a team together. This is not something they do for a lot of school districts. They haven't done it, but he really, there's a good alignment between what we're doing here and what CISA4 is doing. And I think he'll be a great partner with his team to help us through that process. So this would be a timeline I'll give you more information on at next month's meeting if approved, and just kind of a whole year's process of going through, having meetings, gathering data, and confirming that we're all pushing in the same direction for the district. So this contract is for support with CISA4 at an approximate cost of $8,800 for the 25-26 school year.
So the other one in our packet is just a second bid.
It's a second bid, just to give you a perspective. Those are the 2 that I got formal bids from. And I think the other one would have been amazing. Really, really like him, have heard very good things. Flexibility-wise and his schedule versus what we can get with CISA4, we're gonna have a lot more flexibility with CISA4 being right here in our backyard and a team of people versus depending on one very busy person coming in and doing it. So, yeah. So looking for approval of that if there's no other questions.
I'll make a motion to select the CISA 4 proposal for strategic planning support during the 2025-26 school year at a cost of approximately $8,800.
Second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Tina. Any other questions or further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Health insurance.
Yeah, this is the first time that we're looking at a renewal of our self-insured health insurance, doing a lot of the same types of practices that we would for a fully insured type proposal, because it is a program that we manage and we set the amounts for. We can be a little bit more flexible and strategic in trying to control costs for the district, and that's what we've tried to do. Initial proposal, just to kind of renew as we were doing things, was about a 9.8% increase for the district. A fully insured proposal, according to the metrics, would have been about a 13%. So just the fact that we were in a self-insured plan helped us. We are making some plan change designs, going from a deductible of $3,000 and $6,000 to deductibles of $3,500 and $7,000 for this plan change, and changing to a 4-tiered premium where we really look at the cost in comparison to the number of belly buttons on the plan, and cost, so that the cost is distributed more evenly across the employees based on the actual use of the plan. In doing those two things, we really believe there's a statement there from the insurance center that we're going to be able to help control those costs and mitigate some of those larger increases in the future, and hopefully maintain costs at a level that we're at right now or below. In doing that, the additional cost to the district on insurance for the next year is about that $43,000, $42,000, $43,000 range. That is not an automatic. We've spent that because we are self-insured. That's what we're setting aside. If we use our insurance well, that may be less than that. If we don't use our insurance well, it could be slightly more than that. So that's the estimate for this health insurance renewal with Ticket Health and the self-insured plan we have. Any questions? Otherwise, we would look for approval of the renewal of our self-funded healthcare plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the renewal of our self-funded healthcare plan with Ticket Health that includes an increase of deductibles and a change to a 4-tiered premium as presented below.
I'll second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Lisa. Any other questions or further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Dental insurance renewal.
Dental ran better than our health insurance over the year, but again, this is the first renewal of our self-funded dental. Again, we're looking at changing from that 2-tiered model to a 4-tier model, basing the cost more on how many people are on the plan. With that, you can see the new rates for our employees per paycheck of what they're paying. It was about a 4% increase overall. We'll have a few less teachers on the plan next year. With that, we're anticipating a cost difference for the district of about $1,000 with this renewal for the 25-26 school year.
I'll make a motion to renew the self-funded dental insurance with Delta Dental and the Insurance Center with increases in premiums for staff now being distributed in 4 tiers.
Second.
Motion by Kelly, seconded by Joni. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Teacher compensation for 2025-2026.
So as we reviewed in closed session, we've taken a look at that total base salary calculation and the 2.95% inflationary index that we're given from the state. In applying that to our scale, The motion on the table here would be to apply all applicable movement to our employees this year and raise each cell on the pay scale by $1,200, setting the new base wage for the district at $43,300. I think it's important that folks know that we have reviewed the other conference schools, and this is not out of line by any means, and we are not the highest, and a few from it at this point in time. We know the other districts are giving raises as well. So with that, we're looking for a approval of the compensation model as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve teacher compensation for the 2025-26 school year that applies appropriate movement for all staff and increases each cell on our salary schedule by $1,200, setting our new base wage at $43,300.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Shelley. Any questions, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 2026 hourly staff compensation.
Yeah, in looking at hourly compensation, the 24-25 pay scale was attached here for reference as we're looking at that. Looking at that in comparison to our conference, looking at what a 2.95% increase would look to that, trying to be competitive in the market and all of those types of things, acknowledging the fact that it's been hard to hire a few of these positions. The recommendation would be to move forward with an appropriate movement and increase of $1 per hour to all hourly paid positions listed on our hourly pay scale. Any questions? We look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the appropriate movement and an increase of $1 to all hourly paid positions listed on the hourly pay scale.
I'll second.
Motion by Shelley, seconded by Lisa. Any questions, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to personnel.
I'll take the first one and then let these guys talk about their new hires that they've made. The first one is to rescind the contract offer that we approved at our last board meeting for Jacqueline Grieve. Shortly after the meeting, when she was presented her contract, she had been offered another position in the district that she was in, so she never signed the contract. Technically, we still need to rescind that contract offer because it was board approved. So this is just the action to do that. So looking for a motion to rescind that contract offer for Jacqueline Grieve.
I'll make a motion to rescind the contract offer for Jacqueline Grieve for elementary special education, previously board approved on April 9th, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Lisa. Any questions, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Middle school math teacher, Mr. Mullenberg.
Thank you, Julie. We had a good pool for our math candidates this year, and I'm happy to report that the committee overwhelmingly chose Haley Jones, one of our grads, and it always warms my heart as a full circle moment when it's a student that I had in class and they want to come back to our district, which I think is important as well. And we've had a number that do that, and I'm always very appreciative of that because I think it says that we build a culture where they want to be a part of. I know we have some at the elementary school as well that are teaching there, but she is going to fit in really well with our middle school staff, and she'll be next to Carrie Johnson, who will be her mentor. And Carrie's in her 32nd year, so it's a really good match there. And they're actually going to split some of the grades so they each teach a section so they can collaborate with those things as well. So I think this can be a really good fit. And also Haley's somebody that will do other things for us, extra things as asked, committees and different things like that. And she has been one of our assistant volleyball coaches as well. So the committee overwhelmingly, everybody went with that. Honestly, when we have one of our grads, somebody that I try to stay out of the decision making as far as I let everybody else speak. And then after that, if I need to say anything else, I do. But that entire committee, you can see it was a pretty good sized committee as well that we had. And it was a wide range that was their unanimous choice. And we're excited to add her to the team.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Haley Jones as the middle school math teacher effective for the 25-26 school year.
I'll second.
And I'll just add one last thing is I've been able to observe her when she has subbed for us. So she's done a really nice job with that also.
Thank you, Mr. Mullenberg. Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Lisa. Any other questions or further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Elementary special ed teacher, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Julie. So I asked the board to approve Nicole Holmes. This is kind of we've had a struggle to lock down a SPED candidate. And when Nicole applied, you look at her credentials and just having that 6 years experience. She's been out of school for a while, but just her husband is in the military, and they were placed in Hawaii for the last 6 years. And so when I saw that, it was kind of fun. I've never called Hawaii before, so I had to wait until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon to call them. And just to thank, a big shout out to the team that was there. What we did was very interesting too. We had at 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night, we had a random Zoom meeting, and everybody was from their homes, and did the interview with Nicole, and she just presented herself as a true professional, and very excited for her skill set. When I called her references, I had introduced myself on the phone to the principal and said, I'm calling about Nicole Holmes, and she goes, to work in our district, and she goes, well, you just struck gold. And I said, that's what I like to hear, tell me more. And it was just a nice dialogue of her commitment. This is a young lady who had her taught in a regular classroom for several years, and then chose to go back to the University of Hawaii to get her special ed cross-categorical. When I asked her, and I put this in the notes, I asked her, because she also applied for our 3rd grade position. And I said, well, where are you at, and what would you prefer? And she said, I'm really passionate about special education students. I want to stay there. Well, I thought that was very telling. I think we hit a home run here.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Nicole Holmes as elementary special education teacher effective at the start of the 2025-2026 school year.
I'll second.
Motion made by Lisa, seconded by Jessica. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Johnson, you can continue with the
Yeah,
3rd
another
grade.
amazing hire in Melissa Bjorkman Lejeune. Melissa is a community member. She has 3 of our kids. Her kids are all in our school. Have been talking to her for a number of years, and just, where's your interest? What? And I have just the most respect for her and her skill set, knowing her, knowing the people she works with, and the accolades that she has earned over the years. So just talking casually, she actually taught summer school for us last summer, and just how our current staff just gravitated to her as well, and the camaraderie and the connection there. And when she found out that 3rd grade was opening up, she applied, and we had a really good pool of candidates. Lots of them were 0 years or 1 year experience. Great, a lot of good candidates, but a big, large group of limited years experience. So we did interview 5 candidates, really good candidates all around, but I think the thing that stuck out to me the most was with Melissa, that during the interview she wasn't ready to apply to Bangor. And until she felt like her skill set was where she wanted it to come to her hometown where her kids go to school, and be at the top of her game, having her 316 and master's degree, and just the recommendations that came for her leadership, her willingness. She's a hard worker, local farm family. So just really, really excited to bring Melissa on board, and we are, without a doubt, a destination school district for employees. And that just makes me so proud of the work that we have done to bring on just, honestly, the most talented individuals we can find. And I'm just super excited for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Melissa Berkman Lejeune as a third grade teacher starting with the 2025-26 school year.
I'll second.
Motion made by Joni, seconded by Jessica. Any other questions or further conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Mr. Mullenberg, agriculture education teacher.
Thank you. I'm going to wrap that up. That is another full circle moment. I had Melissa as a student in class, and she was an awesome student while she was here, participated in a lot. So she will be a great addition to our school for sure. You're really old. Some days it feels like that. So one of my top priorities and goals once we passed that April referendum was to make sure that we had an ag teacher going into next year. The pool is still really tight. I reached out to the state organization. They put it out on all their message boards. Reached out to Platteville again and UW River Falls. They sent it out to all their student teachers. There was 42 openings in the state, and they had a combined 17 student teachers. So we interviewed. We had one person certified, and the others were non-certified as far as an education. The committee did choose Gabby. She has a 4-year degree from UW Platteville. She has a degree in animal science with a minor in agribusiness. She has worked, interned in a butcher shop. She still works at Equity Livestock doing things there. She has her national certification in FFA, state and national. When I talked to our FFA officers, they were like, wow. Because I'm not sure what all goes into that, and they started telling me. And they were really impressed with that, and they're excited to have obviously they have an ag teacher. I'm doing the senior exit interviews now, and I've had a couple of students tell me their favorite classes that they've had were ag, so I'm really excited to be able to bring this back again. Gabby does not have a teaching background, so I will be pairing her with Morgan Beckman, who's our current FFA advisor and our science teacher. Her ag background is great. Her FFA background is tremendous. One of her references is the principal at Waniwak Center, who was the ag teacher for her in Waniwak. When I called Jackie, I said, "What can you tell me?" She said, "Hire her." And I said, "We got to give me more than that. Give me some reasons why." But she is somebody that gets deeply involved with a lot of things. She worked at the UW Platteville farm. She worked on another farm in Boston, a dairy farm there. So she's got a variety of skills. We'll really need to support her in the teaching area of that, but I think we have a good team around her to be able to do that. And I'm excited to have those classes again. So because of that, we were able to get this year's schedule put out for next year to our teachers. Ms. Schultz finished that with our ag classes in there. Warms my heart to see those in there again, because I did say that was a goal of mine. So Gabby was the decision of the committee. I think she's going to do a great job. Very passionate about agriculture. That's something that you really want to see come through in whatever field that you're in, and her varied background. I think we're going to be able to offer the vast majority of our classes again. Previously, we didn't have certain areas, so we had to cut back on some of those, but I think she's going to be able to broaden that again. So it'll take a little bit to get it going again, because we didn't have it, so we didn't have a lot of students that sign up. But once I'm able to tell them, I'm going to meet with our FFA this week and tell them, that we have, as long as she gets approved tonight, that we have a person, and please register for those classes if you're interested in that. So I would ask for approval for Gabby. Like I said, I'm really excited to have another ag teacher.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Gabby Warrap as our middle school, high school aid teacher starting with the 25-26 school year.
Second.
Who was that? Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Tina. Any questions, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you for all of the information about these new hires. Very nice. All right, administrative reports, Mr. Chaplin.
Thanks, Julie. The first thing on there is the ACT administration. That was completed, and I believe all students have their individual results back, but the scores obviously are not shareable at this time. DPI has been getting better at letting them out to the public, but so hopefully August, September, October, public for that.
Okay. We did add a few names to our 30-plus board this year, by the way. So I may not be able to say them now, but you can look at the board.
We had a special education community bowling outing on Friday, April 25th. Neil did kind of forget about the start time as he was at the NFL draft. So the middle school did have to pivot a little bit and go to features, but he was able to get something there for the elementary in the afternoon. And just to see kids be out doing a community thing is great. The 24-25 state testing is all completed, so that is always great to be done. And then the last thing I have on there is again a reminder of the Cardinal Hall distinction. So if anyone in the community or anyone on staff or board or anyone has someone that they think is worthy to be in the Hall of Distinction, nominations will be by July 31st in order to contact anyone that we feel is deserving in order to get them here for homecoming, which just approved the date today.
Any questions for Mr. Chaplin? Thank you. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Julie. So like Josh said, we did a lot of testing here recently. Our MAP testing is done, as well as our Aimsweb Plus. That's the Act 20 requirements. And probably the data is very interesting. I'm super proud of our students and our staff for the work they've done. Trying, really focusing on that. The number of students that fall below the bottom 25th percentile nationally, and all of our grade levels in both math and reading are statistically above what nationally norm what you would expect. So what I'm saying is 75% of your students should be above the 25th percentile, right? Well, all of those numbers are better, and some of them, many of them are actually significantly better. So super proud of our staff and our students, as well as the Aimsweb testing, seeing that trend in the number of kids that there's a lot of pieces to Act 20 that we were working on, and the number of students that did better on those skills as the year progressed. Super proud of that. And the interesting part is the MAP testing and Aimsweb, they test different things. And we've done MAP testing for a really long time. And so you've always kind of worked on your instructional practices to improve what MAP testing tells you. Aimsweb is very, very new to us, more comprehension-based, more fluency-based, which is just reading fast. We have really never really focused on kids reading fast. We want them to read and learn or know what they read. So a little bit different there, but nonetheless, I think as a whole, we did a lot of really great things this year, and I'm really just the testing or the information is sharing that. The 4th and 5th grade music concert, the ukulele and the recorder concert, it's always a good show. We had a packed house actually at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I couldn't believe how full the gym was. But then we had the Cardinal Choir, which is a volunteer group of 5th graders that come together once a week and sang for that. And just super proud of Abby Sass, our music teacher, who came in that semester and has really, really settled in and done an awesome job. Super proud of her. She was very, very nervous her first go around, but I really like I really like how this team in the music department has come together and supported each other. They're over at each other's buildings, they're running music and sound for each other. It's just it's a difference, and it's good. Oh, I'm super good, or glad for that. Dr. Greg Wagner, I just want to shout out to him. He has just been awesome. He's been in our building repeatedly this spring. He just took our fourth graders on a tour of downtown Bangor and got into the Opera House. And I was trying to get there. I wanted to see it so bad, and I just couldn't. I kept getting bogged down with things. But just the history. He's up 162 by Weirs there. There's kind of in that area where George Wolf owns a piece of property back in there. I know George calls it the park. It's kind of like a little area back by the river. Greg brought in journals from family members who lived there in the 1800s, and just how and then shared those journals with the kids, and just the difference in the way people lived, and get that perspective. It's just awesome. And now Greg the kids went yesterday and on Monday went down to the Opera House, and the kids took down notes of which actors and actresses were signing the wall down there, and then he's going to archive that and connect the family names to the area and then present that back to the kids. So just super cool stuff. Yeah, and Greg, I mean, if you ever get a chance to spend 5 minutes with him, you better have a half hour, an hour, because it's going to be awesome. 4-H donation every February. The 4-H Clover College comes in and uses the elementary school for their Saturday event. They donated us some money for that cause. Super thankful to them, and that's a nice partnership that we have with them. Summer school update. All of the classes have been rostered, and for the most part, still looking at, because sometimes classes run and sometimes classes don't run because kids sign up or don't sign up. So working through some of those pieces, but it looks like we're fully staffed, and looks like we have a really good selection. Similar numbers to what we had the last 2 years. So super good about that. And just a shout out to Terry Kenyon, because she just works her tail off on that thing. That is a heavy lift, really. You're basically scheduling an entire school year for 13 days worth of, because you got a staff, you got a student, you got all of that stuff. And it's more of a Rubik's Cube than what the regular school year actually is. So thank you to her for her hard work and all of that. And thank you to the staff that are going to work with us. PTO Carnival was a great hit. Thank you to Dr. Brockup. You and I have hung out for 4 years of the number calling and cake distribution, and I'm going to miss doing that next year. Huh? Letter calling, correct. Yeah, it was good. It's always fun to see the kids in that light and give away a lot of sweet treats that parents don't typically want. But it's good. And just a big thank you. The PTO is wrapping up their school year, just like all of us, and just good group of people. Heart's in the right place. They do hard work for our students and the things that they purchased. They had a nice display on our big screen in the Commons, a slideshow that just kept running and showing all of the different things that they do for our school in the course of the year, things they've purchased, events that they've put on. So just a really good group of people, and I look forward to they earned some money the other night, and they're going to put that to good use. In fact, Shin Doggies had ice cream for 4 classrooms, I think, that he donated. And then towards the auction, and today he was parked out front, and the kids didn't share any ice cream with me. I tried, but they didn't. And just a really neat thing. Parents purchased a bid on that for the whole classroom. And I did see that we had one of our students threw the ball out for first pitch the other night, which I think is a great thing. Just a really great night. And then last thing, just update on what we're looking at for enrollment next year. 301 without the non-sibling open enrollment students would be a number, and then there's roughly 20 open enrollment applications that are not sibling related, I guess. So if that's the case, 321 is a projection, which is 2 more than what we have this year. And this is a crazy stat. think David and I were talking about it the other day, that we have roughly 70 more students in the building than when I started 6 years ago. 70.
Wow.
That's like almost 2 full grade levels. So yeah, it's just a crazy number to think that what 250 looked like 6 years
Is that
ago.
when we started full-time propane?
No, it's only been 3 years, or will be 3 years. So,
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Thank you. Mr. Mullenberg?
Thank you, Julie. I have some testing data to share with you as well. Our middle school, with our MAP testing for math, 6th and 7th grade, every student increased from fall to spring. I mean, you may think they should, but I talked to, even when I was talking to Carrie Johnson, she said in her 32 years, she's never seen that. And it's rare because usually kids will have bad testing days or something like that, or just be off. So the work that they've done and then some of the major gains that kids have made, 8th grade was really close on that. So I've been reviewing the data with all of our interventionists as well, and it's just impressive that the work they've been doing. So I want to shout out to our staff for that and the hard work from our students. So that's been great to see those things. End of the year really gets busy. To say the least. Sophie was kind of going through some of those things, but our seniors are done next week. It's hard to believe. We have senior banquet on this Sunday. We had scholarship last week. Senior finals coming up, and then we have our grad practice, and then they throw in graduation parties, and then our regular things that we have, and we're hosting sectional track. This Friday we're doing our academic assembly at 2:15 to recognize students there. So all good things. It just gets really busy. Last night was great. I went from ASL watching that to our music concert to be able to watch that, and I feel fortunate to be able to do those things. And then we host baseball and softball the next 2 days, pending the weather. So that'll be great as well. But it just, it's one of those where if I don't write it on my calendar, and I get David and Mike give me a hard time because I have a paper calendar, but if I don't write it on my calendar, then it's difficult, and in my phone. But a few things that I didn't have on there, Carly Baurichter was, for National History Day, I thought I put it on there and David deleted it again, but that's all right, I'll forgive him. I was just notified this week that I'm excited to let you know, educator from your school or district has just been announced as one of the National History Day's 2025 Teacher of the Year Award nominees. So that's nationwide. She's one of 2 in the state of Wisconsin. So there's not more than 2 from each state. So if she does happen to win, will receive a $5,000 cash prize. So she does a great job with our National History Day, and I'm very proud of what she is able to accomplish with our students, and our students do a great job. One of the senior exit interviews this year, I always ask a favorite moment or memory, and one of the students said, definitely National History Day. So it's nice to hear all of those different things as well. You probably I think David had told you about, there was something that happened at the baseball game to a New Lisbon player. I was over there, and anyway, I want to let you know that the player is okay. The next day we called down there, and he actually went back to school at noon. Parents are still trying to figure out what the heart condition is, but they were very, very appreciative of the response that we had there. They told us between having the trainer there, and then we had first responders there. Josh and I ran out there. I mean, it was a really good response, and they were very thankful for that. But he's okay, so that's good to know. We were alerted ahead of time that there was a condition, and that if it got really warm, there possibly could be a side effect. So it wasn't totally out of the realm. I didn't share with David and Mike, but all of a sudden I got called down to take a picture with the donation for the elementary school because nobody was around. They couldn't get a hold of anybody. It was Sleepy Hollow donated some basketballs. So Barry McDonald came up. So I want to thank Sleepy Hollow for donating them to the elementary school. So, Gene said, I can't find anybody else. Come on up. Okay. So he wanted to do that, but that was nice of them. And then our enrollment. So I'm not including any open enrollment applications. They go through that process. It doesn't mean they're coming, but right now we have 221 high school students. We're projected next year to start at 205. Right now we have 123 middle school students. Next year we're projected to start at 130. So the difference is this year total, 612, we have 344. We're projected to start at 335. I don't think that includes any St. Paul's students though either. So, and then, there's movement in and out during the summer. So, pretty similar. And we knew that the high school would start to go down a little bit and our middle school would start coming up again from the growth that they've been seeing at the elementary school. So we're holding pretty steady there, which is good. And I actually think that when it starts in the fall, we'll probably be above that 344 if I had to guess. I think I've given 7 families tours in the last 2 months that are making decisions yet.
Any questions for Mr. Mullenberg? Thank you. Dr. Braca?
Yeah, I thought I had some stuff written on there nice about Rick, but he must have deleted it, so we'll see. The Teacher Appreciation Week, our Staff Appreciation Week was last week, and thank you to the board members and the board for coming in and presenting a card with a gift card to our staff, and I know they really appreciate on Monday morning the donuts they wheel through as well, so that was very much appreciated. Just a great week and a reminder of those folks, the teachers, the bus drivers, the paraprofessionals, the secretaries, all the people that are in the trenches working with these kids every single day, making an impact in those lives is awesome. So a huge shout out and a thank you to all of them. And thanks for the board for the support of that staff as well. Just a reminder, every year this time of year, I remind you that Fridays during the summer, there'll be folks around, but we won't have somebody manning the buzzer at the front office. So if people need to schedule an appointment, need to talk to somebody, please call ahead so we can schedule that appointment. But otherwise, district office is basically closed on Fridays. It's worked pretty well over the last couple of summers, and then the secretarial staff can all have Friday off and use some of the time off that they've earned and should be using. Transition coming to board docs. So this is just a heads up for you guys. There will be some video trainings. I don't have an exact timeline, but board docs is, I believe they said 21 years old, that it hasn't changed in 21 years as far as how we access the policies and how we access board meetings and those types of things. It's being transitioned to Diligent Communities will be the name of it. I've seen some previews of it. Was on a video meeting the other day and kind of got to see how it works. I think it's going to work very well. I think the fact that we know how to use board docs a little bit now, the transition will be okay. But just wanted to give you a heads up that is coming our way. And last but not least, retirement lunch to honor all of our retirees on June 4th. Jean did the math today, and it is 177 years of service to the Bangor School District that is retiring at the end of this school year. And that's just to the Bangor School District. So, Mike's got 6 on there. Yeah, most of those are Rick's, yeah, but yeah. But it's all good. So if board members are planning, you're welcome to come. That'll be 12:30 on that day. Just let me know if we're more 4 of us, then I'll post that. More than 4 of you, I'll post it so that we're covered that way. But we like to recognize those folks. We have a number of past retirees that we invite in for that day as well. Family for the retirees and nice luncheon and all that type of stuff that day. Yeah. Any questions for me? It'll be in here. Yep. I just want you, if you guys tell me that you're coming, and then if there's more than 4, I'll post it. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Removal of items from the consent agenda. There are numerous items, so I'm just going to go through them. So, current openings. Overnight field trip request from the FCCLA for their national conference and competition. Open enrollment space adjustment. That's with our change in our special ed. Hire middle school track assistant coach. Meal prices. Elementary building project. Building budget, for 25-26. The middle high school building budget as well. the elementary school handbook, student handbook, project search agreement, early childhood agreement, the IDS agreement, the middle school, high school student handbook, the early graduation request.
Just making a quick note, the handbooks, we do have a letter that we'll still update in the elementary from Mr. Luke, and we'll get the new calendars that we've approved tonight on those as well. So they'll be slightly changed from what that is, but they'll be correct.
If there's no other discussion, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion made by Shelley, seconded by Joni for the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. I ask for adjournment.
So, go ahead.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Tina, seconded by Joni. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.